Presentation, I honestly don't know where to start. The track is the room is the track. So in today's video, we're going to check out 3 slot car tracks that I've handpicked from Facebook, and we're going to rate them over 3 categories, starting with presentation. Does the track look good? With a maximum score out of 5. Then we're going to move on to, can I replicate this? I like the way it looks. Now can I build it? That will also get a score out of 5. And last but not least, probably my favorite, I like the way it looks, I've built it, now can I drive it? The flow of the track. Is this a driver's track or is it just a spaghetti mess? And that will also get a score of 5 out of 5, giving the grand total a 15. Now these scores are individually, they're not going to be challenging each other, but I do want you to play along because of course my scores may be different to yours. But that's enough talking, you know the rules. Let's get stuck into track 1. So let's kick it off with track number 1. We do have some photos to share here and I will be flicking back and forth through them as I give my ratings. And I do want to get the details of the track out first before we get into rating it. So firstly, it is a 1/43 scale Carrera plastic analog 4-lane track in a classic figure 8 style. The owner is JTD Slot Car Race and it was posted on the incredible Facebook group Scenic and Slot Tracks. Go check that out. And thanks for JTD for building an epic track. But now let's get into category 1. Presentation. So kicking off with presentation, it's quite simple to see that this is an epic looking track. It's on its own personal table. You've got the full works. It's got a barrier with the branding all over it. And it looks like it's being presented at some kind of event, which is good to see. We need to see more of this out there in the world. And if we quickly scan through some of these photos, I want to show you the layout. It is beautifully lit up at nighttime. It's a classic figure 8, which works in any space. And there's some really smart scenery here that I do want to point out. When we look at the printed crowd, and let me see if I can get to that quickly, you'll be able to see in the background here, we've got some printed crowd, which is really cool to see. This is scale 1/43, so you might not always find certain figures to suit. And down the front here, we've also mixed in some die-cast cars. I love that. I love crossing over the hobbies. We've got slot cars, some die-cast cars. That's a win to me. Talking figures, it looks like we're in maybe Abu Dhabi or something like that. We've got some painted figures. It's a nice entertaining area. And from a far shot, it looks pretty epic. It's really good. I love the smart scenery. I like how we've got the printed people and it just looks good. Barriers galore. Any photo I show you is going to be nicely detailed. It does look the works. Plus it is lit up. So for presentation, we're going to start off pretty strong here. I'm giving it a 5 out of 5 and promise not everything gets a 5 out of 5 because to me, it is a perfect little track that's been executed beautifully. But let me know what your score is down below. So now let's talk ease of construction. Can I build this one at home? And the easy answer is yes. We're talking Carrera 1/43 plastic track, which is available in pretty much every country, brand new and secondhand. And it is the classic figure 8 layout, which I think works really good in anybody's space. Now, when it comes to a custom table, could you do your own? Most definitely. This one is sitting, looks like on a kind of standard shaped table, and it's got a nice little skirt around it, which you could replicate that. When it comes to the finer details like the crowd or the positioning of some of the items, that really is individually. But yes, you can most definitely build this one at home. I think it's a winner. We're going to give it another score here, and I do promise you it's not going to always be like this. I have given it a 5 out of 5 because I don't think there's any other score that I could give it. It's perfectly done. It looks incredible. So far we're tracking it 10 out of 15. Let me know, what did you score it for ease of construction? But now let's move on to my favorite, flow. How do I think it will drive? And last but not least, let's talk flow. How do I think this track will drive? And do I think it's got enough flow to keep it interesting, fun, and technical? And straight away, we are talking a classic figure 8, which most of us in the slot car world would have driven. But what I do like about this one is we've got some little straights in these corners to give that extra bit of back off on the controller and then get back into it. So for drivability, I have gone very safe on this one because I think we all can recommend a figure 8 track. I have gone definitely a 5 out of 5 because anyone can drive this, whether you're young, old, and you probably already have driven this. Let me know what you think. It is a perfect score for this. It's a 15 out of 15. I do promise you they don't all get treated nicely, but I am rating the track as I see it. And To me, it ticks every box to get somebody into the hobby, whether they're starting out or they just want to have a setup like myself in a small spot. This is a classic. Now, one thing I will give the owner kudos for, they've gone with 1/43 scale, which is a scale that's kind of slept on in the slot car world. So kudos to you. Now I'm going to chuck my little change in there, and it's very hard to change this, but I'm going to say the only thing that I would do to make this, in my opinion, better with any track, make it a bit bigger. But this has its purpose. It's a very minor change, and it doesn't really need to be done. So I thought of something, I threw it at it. I don't think it needs to be changed. It's a good looking track. And there you have it, 15 out of 15 for the almighty 143 Carrera Go track number 1. So let's notch it up a gear with track number 2. This one is epic. It's something like I've never seen before, but before we get into it, let's get the details out the way. It is a 3-lane wood-routed custom analog track. It is owned by Mark Lavridge. I hope I said your name correctly, and I found this on the Facebook group Scenic and Slot Tracks. Go check the group out, it is epic. But let's get stuck into presentation, because this one is pretty epic. So talking presentation, I honestly don't know where to start. The track is the room is the track, and it's one of the smartest designs that I've seen. And we've got some footage and some photos to show. But firstly, got some car storage on the left. That's always a bonus. But where do you start? You've got a massive mural that looks like where I live, Austria. You've got the grassed floor. Let's quickly change a page here because I want to show you some of the other finer details. We've got some trees in the corner. We've got a pond, some rocks. You got that hill climb / descent, which we'll look at a photo now on that one. That's been fully done. I don't think you can make this any better because not only have they used the full entire room, which has got steps inside, it's quite a unique space what they've used. They've also painted the mural on the wall to make it look as realistic as they can, and they've also added their own stuff like a pit lane. So I've got no choice but to be friendly to this one because I know I said this at the start, but I have to give it a 5 out of 5. Let me know what you think. To me, it's the perfect room. It really has done what this slot car community is all about. It's created a space that I think we all want to be there, which we'll get into the driving in a tick, but for presentation, it's a perfect score. It's a 5 out of 5. So this is where it gets interesting. Ease of construction. Can I replicate this at home? Segment 2. And this is a hard one because for me personally right now, no, I can't. I cannot replicate this at home, nor would I have the skill myself to build the track the way they've done it. There's a couple of things you need here. You need space and you need skill. Now, a lot of you who are probably watching saying, I could do this, you probably could. If you had the space and the skill, you definitely could. But on average, I don't think we can, which is a shame because it's bloody epic. I mean, it's the perfect room. So I did have to score this one a bit mean. Of course, I am scoring this opinion based on the track itself, not against any other track. And I gave it a 2 out of 5. There's a couple of things here. You need space and you definitely need skill. Mark, who owns this, has both. What an epic space. So apologies if you are watching this, Mark. It's a beautiful track, but unfortunately, I don't think I can replicate it very easily, or nor can anyone else. But what a track. And on to my favorite segment for this track is flow. Oh, I cannot wait to talk about it. Firstly, my easy answer is I wish I was there to drive it. This is an epic track. Now we do have some footage to share because I actually thought the track went the opposite way, but let's press play and talk through it because it's epic. A huge downhill run, which they are flying into a nice sweeping bank corner, a tight one just past the pits, and then the technical stuff starts happening, which if you watch it, they are doing a really good job, and it would be a hard track, but here we go again, flying down that straight. Oh, it's a dream. It's like butter. It is butter. Now, I do have another bit of footage to share with you. Let me just quickly fire that one up because it gives a different perspective and angle of what we sort of expect this track to do. So now we're looking at the top side of the track. So we've gone up the stairs and we're going to watch it from a different angle. You can see that first corner is banked beautifully, and here they come up the hill. Oh, it's so good. Working their way up and then ready for the big rundown, and they are flying. All right, this one I had to play nice on because there's no other score, and if you give it any other score, and I hope you are playing down below, I don't know why. It has to be a 5 out of 5. That is a track that I would travel to and love to drive. Now, I am going to add a little change in here. I hope this doesn't get any heat on me because people know I do love digital. The only thing that I think will make this better, again, in my opinion, would add a digital element to it, whether it's oxygen or whatever you want to use to put into it. That would then change up what lanes you take. Heading up, there's going to be favorite lanes on this. So if this was converted to digital and allowed you to do both, take my money, and I'd probably have to buy a freight container to build this. So I think they've done really well. We've got a good score here. You've got a 5, a 2, and a 5, which gives us a total of 12. And I think that's a great score for a track that most of us couldn't even build. And it's one of my favorite tracks I've seen so far. So last but not least, track number 3, and in the famous words of Olivia Newton-John, let's get digital with a massive 132 scale / 124 scale Carrera Digital plastic track. And the owner is Frank Lehman. I hope I said your last name correctly. And I found this on the Facebook group, Carrera Digital. Highly recommend it. Go check that out. Where do I start? Presentation. So let's kick it off with presentation, and it's sort of like the other track. Yeah, the backyard is your track, the track is your backyard, and it's smart. It is such a smart design and idea. Now, first I'm going to quickly say, if you are thinking about getting into slot cars and slot car tracks, plastic is a great option because, especially Carrera, it is plastic and it's stainless steel rails. So being outside in the weather shouldn't be much of an issue other than the electronics, but this is why this can be done. And it is epic. Now, presentation, I'm going to be a little bit harsh here because it is basic. This is a summer track. He sets it up during the summer and then takes it down. Looks like he's in Europe. Let's look at some other photos. And you can see it is a basic kind of setup. We're sitting on a raised sort of tabletop, very smart, but the scenery is your outdoors. You've got bushes around you, you've got grass on the ground, you know, you've got a nice looking peacock fern, I think that's called. It's definitely not called that. So when it comes to scenery, there's not much I don't think he could have done, but I will give it a 3 out of 5 because it's a smart use of space. Now, of course, if this is going to be a permanent fixture, I can imagine that these tunnels would be of better quality, but I don't blame him. It's going to be teared down and put away during the winter, which I guess would snow there. So it's huge. Presentation, if you walked out there, you'd go, it's got the wow factor, but of course, I've got to rate it on the track itself. It's a 3 out of 5, but let me know in the comments what you gave it. So let's move on to ease of build, or can I replicate this at home, which was a little bit tricky to score, but all in all, let's face it, it is Carrera plastic track, which is readily available brand new, secondhand and around the world, and it's quite hardy and durable. So if you do want to replicate this, it's just going to cost you money and space, which the space that Frank has used, which is of course outdoors, I think most of us could find a similar space or area or something a bit smaller to replicate this. So I did score it a 4 out of 5. Again, all you're needing is space and the plastic track, which both of that you could find. And I've rated it this way because it is a summer track. This does get pulled down. And the kicker is, he's got the diagram for it. So we can see that it can be made quite easily if you had the pieces. So 4 out of 5, I think we could do this one. You just need a backyard space, which that isn't the biggest space, and I guess a lot of track. Let me know what you gave a score out of, but I think 4 out of 5, I'm happy with that. Now I want to move on to Flow. This is another track that I've been looking at going, oh, I can't wait to talk about it. And firstly, I'm going to talk about the track pieces, the smart design that's gone into this. Now, I'm a huge advocate of plastic track, and I've built some epic tracks, I believe, in my time, where I've tried to keep it flowy and fun and not too spaghetti. First, looking at this, there's a lot going on, but when you break it down, it is very smart. So you've got this beautifully banked corner at the end, which comes across into, it's a 2 into 4. So you're going 2 lane into 4, which you can achieve that with digital, then back into 2. So I love that. It gives you space to go, we're out of here, let's get around our driver. You get some beautifully crafted corners. I mean, I hope I can find another picture of that one with the rays. There it is. That would be just such a joy to get the car going around and then straight through the tunnel. All these corners have been thought out perfectly. A massive rear banked corner. There is some speed to be had there. You don't want to bottom out. And you've also got yourself a curved, a half like bank corner to keep that speed going. You must be flying down that back straight or front straight, or whichever way we are going. I can't really see on, I think you actually go into that. Maybe that's the way you go. But wow, I would fly and enjoy driving this day in, day out. And here we go again. You can actually see that 2 into 4, all the bankness. And there's a lot of banks and curves on this corner that you probably can't see without getting right in nice and close. Even this one's got a slight tilt on it. So there's no other score that I could give this. Realistically, when it comes to scoring something like this that I look at and go, oh, I would love to drive it. I've given it a 5 out of 5. Now, I'd love to know your score down below. This has given our track, and let me quickly do the score. We've got a 3, a 5, and a 4. So we've gone a 13 out of 15, which I think is a fair score for this track. We can all build it if we really wanted to, or a smaller version. And being outdoors, plastic, and a bit of digital, I think that's definitely the winner for me. So there you go. What did you score it out of 15? So that's a wrap. We've seen 3 incredible tracks and 3 completely different tracks, which I will try and achieve that on a weekly basis to share different scale, different styles, whether it's digital, analog, small or big. I think it all needs to be celebrated. My track of the day would be the Carrera Digital. I'm a huge Carrera Digital fan, or digital fan in general, and I love how that's been put outside. It's something that I actually should be doing. So I did like that. Let me know which one was your favorite. It was a hard choice. It really was. Let me know if you did enjoy this as well. The scoring thing is a bit of fun. Let me know what you scored the tracks down below. And also, if you do have any tracks that you want to submit for me to look at, video or footage, either direct me to the page if you can, or send it to me. The email is linked in the channel description and this video description itself, because I would love to share as many tracks as we can on a weekly basis. So let me know. Now it's a wrap. I'm out of here. And thanks for watching, legends. And if you did enjoy this video, YouTube thinks you might like these two. And I'll see you in the next one.